aside for a second, what Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this. Does that play a role here? I mean, how often has there been a federal indictment for a bank fraud type of situation like the one we see here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a huge difference, right? Because what Comey was charged with is essentially a process crime. And you're exactly right. It doesn't go to sort of the underlying, wrongness. It's perhaps something he said, back in 2017, but it's a process crime. Mortgage fraud is something, it is really bread and butter of most of the prosecutors' offices in federal offices across the country. I mean, they bring hundreds and hundreds of these types of cases every year. This is something that's not reserved for, the few Jim Comeys of the world. This is something that we charge every single day. So why is that different and why is that important? Assuming that the facts are there, let's say that they have the evidence, they have the receipts, they have the emails that Elliot was speaking about. Well, then look, she is a very attractive target besides the political aspects, because you do want to hold people that are in, political positions or positions where they're high profile. If they've committed that crime, you want to hold them to account for that, to say, look, this is a crime the United States takes seriously. It doesn't matter if you have money, if you have power, if you commit mortgage fraud, which is a priority of the federal government, we are going to hold you responsible. Now, I'm making a lot of assumptions in that statement, that they actually would have the receipts for that, and she would still obviously have those selective prosecution arguments. But you could imagine that there's more there to something like that, because it is not just one of these process crimes. It's something that usually has to have a little bit of substance there.